Today I'm making another batch of clarified butter, also known as ghee, and I thought I'd take you along and show you how to make it step by step so you can enjoy it in your own kitchen. One of the great benefits of cooking with ghee or clarified butter is that it has a high smoke point. So unlike butter that'll start smoking if you try to say fry in it or pop some popcorn in it, it won't smoke on you as quickly. Since we don't own our own dairy cow to churn our own butter yet, we buy our butter in bulk from a local dairy, and it comes in this big log. So the first step is actually just to break up the butter into smaller chunks. If you're using sticks of butter from the grocery store, that's fine as well. You just want it in smaller chunks so it'll melt more evenly when you put it on the stove. Now that it's chopped up, we can go add it to the pot. Now that it's in the pot, we want to turn it on to low heat. The reason we want it on low heat is so that it melts really slowly. You don't want it to boil or burn or brown on you. And then we'll come back in a little bit and I'll show you what you're going to be looking for on the top. It's going to start having some foam on the top as the milk solids start separating. So on the top we'll have some foam and on the bottom we'll have other parts of the milk. And so what we're doing when we're clarifying the butter is getting the last little bits of milk out of it. So I just came back in to check on the butter and you can still see that it's slowly melting. But you can also see there's some foamy bubbles, white bubbles coming to the top, and that's part of the milk solids that we're trying to clarify or get out of the butter. And I forgot to mention earlier, you don't want to be stirring the butter while it's melting. You want it to sit so that the different parts of the butter can separate. So you want foamy bits to rise to the top, and then there's going to be a milk-like liquid that's going to sink to the bottom. And what we want to keep is the really pretty golden yellow butter that's in the center of the two. So while we wait for the butter to finish melting, I got out the tools that we'll need for the last few steps in the process of clarifying butter. You'll just need a bowl, a strainer, and then I like to add cheesecloth. You could use a coffee filter, anything that is a little bit finer than your strainer, because we're going to be straining out every little bit of milk solid that we can to clarify the butter. All right, back to the butter. As you can see, it's fully melted and we have this nice foam layer on the top. So what we're going to be doing is just carefully using just a regular spoon and skimming off the white parts. And I drop them in a bowl, but we want to get rid of the milk solids that are on the top. And as you can see below, it is a beautiful golden yellow color. And that's what we're hoping to keep when we clarify the butter. As you can see, I got the vast majority of the foamy milk solids off of the top and have scooped them into the bowl right there. Don't worry if you don't get every last little bit of foam off the top. That's what the straining step is for. All right, we're back over at the counter and we're going to carefully and slowly pour the butter through the strainer, making sure that we don't let the milk solids that are on the bottom slip in. Now you can see the milk solids that were on the bottom of the pan while we were melting the butter, but we're not going to pour that through the strainer. We're just going to dump that out after it cools. Now it's time to pour your clarified butter into whatever container you want to store it in and then allow it to cool. Hope you enjoyed making clarified butter with me here in the Cottage Farmstead kitchen this morning. As you can see, it's pretty simple and straightforward. There's not a whole lot to it. Just a little bit of time and patience. I hope you enjoy cooking with it in your kitchen in the weeks to come.